True Hoop TV, we're joined by Bomani Jones. How are you, sir?
Doing all right, man. How are you?
All right, I'm good. Look, I'm not tired from staying up late watching NCAA games, which I think makes me a rarity. But what about you? Are you an NBA snob or more of an NCAA guy?
Oh, I'm absolutely an NBA snob. Like, let's be perfectly clear. If you prefer college basketball to the NBA, that's fine. Just don't tell me it's because you like basketball. Because the basketball is incomparably better than the NBA. The tournament, however, is kind of its own event. And we got the little Harvard win last night. I felt justified for the 12 hours of watching bad basketball. And it was kind of worth it.
Yeah, I got nothing against college basketball. Frankly, if I'm walking my dog and there are children playing, like 8-year-olds playing in the park, I'll stop and watch that and I'll enjoy every second of it.
Right.
And I'll root and everything. But there's something about when people tell me why they like college basketball better that always comes off a little like one of the things they say is they don't like players making all that money.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think you're trying to avoid the word racist because that's how it always comes off to me. Those guys don't play hard. They don't play defense. They don't play until the fourth quarter.
Right?
Like all these things that are just historical stereotypical criticisms of the NBA all the way through time. Like David Halberstam's book on Jordan detailed it. And it's the same stuff that you hear. And then you realize you're like, well, if you haven't been watching basketball, then NBA basketball, then how do you know these things are actually the case?
Right.
It comes back to they make money. I had a guy tell me yesterday that the kid from Pittsburgh who was crying is the reason why players shouldn't get paid because, they care more. What?
Yeah. The whole thing is just, it doesn't stand up to any kind of criticism. And you have to wonder, like, where does this, millions of people believe this, right? Like it's better because it's more pure or more competitive and whatever. Like it's the dirtiest sport we know, right?
And then people will tell me, I had a guy, make the arguments, but you don't like seeing physical defense. In the NBA, y'all made us get rid of the physical defense because you said it was making the product unwatchable. I saw a picture from the Southern Gonzaga game yesterday, which was an entertaining game, and you see this dude from Gonzaga holding the Southern's player jersey right here while he's trying to dribble to the hole. That's the 1 seed holding the 16 seeds jersey. How does that work?
Actually, that brings up, I'm newly aware, maybe I'm the last guy in America to know that you're selling T-shirts that are roughly akin to this topic. Tell me about this.
Oh, yeah, man. Zone is for cowards. I've been saying this for quite a long time, and I firmly believe this. The zone defense is for cowards. Now, if you're like a 15 or a 16 seed and you're trying to hang with the big boys, I understand that you got to throw in a little guerrilla warfare. But like Syracuse comes out here with all these top-notch athletes, and they've been stuck in a zone for 30 years. What is that? Why can't you just play man-to-man defense? Every argument people give me, well, zone does this, zone does that, and you can do all that stuff with man-to-man. Why can't you just guard your man? And I don't care how strategic people say it is. I think that real adults play man-to-man defense.
See, Bomani, you are in so many ways just this forward, outside the box thinker. But on this one, you're like 100-year-old man. Like, why would you play zone defense? Because it works. That's why, right?
I don't think it works, though. I think it works. There are stretches where zone can work. Like, I think the Mavericks against the Heat are the example that people always bring up. Right. But historically, let's name all these teams in college basketball that have won a national championship playing zone defense. One. It's that Syracuse team in 2003. You're
talking about a sport I don't even follow. What is college basketball? I don't even know what you're talking about.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like with college basketball, everybody talks about how cool the zone is. Nobody wins anything really with the zone. And when Syracuse won it, they ran up against a Rick Barnes team in 2003 that just asked TJ Ford to do everything. And then they caught Kansas the next round where if you could slow those teams down, those Roy Williams teams, then you had a chance. And they slowed them down and they had Carmelo Anthony. But past that, ain't nobody winning nothing out here playing this cowardly zone.
So I got nothing against zone as an NBA guy because when they brought it into the NBA, the game got much prettier because in the NBA, almost everybody can shoot threes, right? So if you want to pack in the paint, fine. Like we'll watch that game all night. And it did actually inspire more 5-man offensive movement, which is what I like about the game. That is what I want to see. And so even though in college where everybody doesn't have that skill, all right, maybe it's just muddy and ugly. But to me in NBA, it's been kind of good.
Yeah, well, I felt like it allowed more flexibility in man-to-man because those old illegal defense rules had little quirks in them, right? Like two men can't guard a guy that doesn't have the ball. If the ball is over the three-point line, over the top of the key, then you've got to be standing right here. And you had those games where you just have a post man inside and everybody was stuck outside because the rules wouldn't allow you to kind of go back and forth. I did think that allowing defenders more latitude in going back and forth and not allowing a defender to stay in the paint for more than 3 seconds, like that's key. It's still zone, but it's a little bit different. and it's a bit cowardly. Come on, you can guard your man. That's my thing. You can do it. Just guard your man.
I don't think people are scared of man-to-man. I think they just think, okay. So look, your Twitter feed is full of interesting things we could talk about. One of them is you feel the clock is ticking over Doug Collins, and you point out he never lasts anywhere very long. What's it going to take for him to find the winning combination where he can finally bond with players and take them to the promised land?
He's going to have to turn into a different person. I mean, like, I think that's ultimately what it's going to be. The thing that's frustrated me about Collins in this, and look, a lot of things have happened that were not expected in Philadelphia, but one, he acts like this roster was forced upon him and that he had nothing to do with the roster that he has, right? He was in on this with everybody else. But the other part, when he had that epic meltdown a couple weeks ago, you listen to what he's saying. He's like, hey, I'm not blaming anybody. You just spent 20 minutes blaming anybody that you could possibly find. Like, why are they not playing hard? These guys aren't playing hard. Maybe, just maybe it's you, right? Maybe people are tired and maybe people are miserable for being around you. And he's been documented as being absolutely miserable. Like, some guys just aren't capable of letting enough things go to get by in this. I think it's a great story that somebody told me about Mike Krzyzewski. I forget which coach it was. And when Krzyzewski started coaching the Olympic team with the Dream Team, it was Chuck Daly. He's with the Dream Team. And Daly told him, look, let me explain something to you. You're not going to be able to be out here picking on everything these guys do. They're professionals. Sometimes they're going to make some mistakes. Sometimes they're just not going to do some things. You got to have some faith that they're going to do it. College coaches, you badger every single mistake because you're like trying to build men. They're young guys. Doug Collins has got to realize you can't get mad about everything. Can't all of this drive you crazy? Because you tell me if I'm lying, he looks defeated. He looks totally 100% defeated.
So look, there's a Doug. I've told this story too many times already, but I think it's huge. When the Sixers beat the Bulls a couple of years ago in the playoffs, after the game, everyone's just jubilant, and the reporters are there. They have their laptops open, the story half written, and they just want to throw in some quotes. And basically, it's like there's Elton Brand and Andre Iguodala at the podium, and the story is, what did Doug Collins teach you that made this team so good? Like, it's this done. That must be what happened, right? And I can't remember if it was Elton or Andre. One of them was like, I really think this season is more about what we taught Doug. And that quote you won't find anywhere because it just didn't fit this narrative people already had. But, like, you know, that was the story, right? Like, they basically, he went on to explain that they got Doug to trust some of the crazy young players on the team, and that worked. Yeah. But
you know what Doug did to make that team so good? He watched Derrick Rose's ACL tear, and it was just like, hey, I think we got a chance to win this series. Like, we always act like the win of that series was not at all related to the injury of Derrick Rose.
Right. All right. Well, Zone may be for cowards, but Bomani Jones is not. Thank you, sir.
Got T-shirts at BomaniJones.com for the Zone is for cowards, by the way.